watched my video on the podcast redesign that I'm working on, this is going to be super exciting because this is an update to that. If you didn't get to watch that video yet, don't worry. There'll be a link to it at the end of this video, and you can check it out. I don't know, homies. I don't know where February went. I feel like I was on January 25th, and I blinked, and now it's February 18th. So, yeah. All in all, the project's going pretty smoothly. There's a little bit of a delay, mainly in the visuals. I was hoping between the end of January and the beginning of February we would do a photo shoot. So that way I have all those raw assets and then I can like mesh together what I need from that on a visual side for this once we were done with user testing and we could start building this out in Squarespace. That did not happen. I like to take a mental health break from my full-time job as Chinese New Year comes around just because I feel like I'm being kind with it, but when the factory shut down, a lot of the licensors we have contracts with kind of also shut down and go on a holiday. So work is kind of slowed down, and I feel like taking a longer time off during a lull period is better than if I took time off during our busy season of trying to hit orders before the factory shut down. And some stuff happened, I'm not going to go into it, but my outlook kind of is now, I'll catch you later around Christmas. We planned to originally do the photo shoot when I was on that vacation, but it kind of fell through, and we're gonna look at our calendars, the three of us, and find time that we can get together to do it. Most recently, I splashed some color into the file, so it's not just gray boxes anymore. Added in some stand-in photos, sourced from different places, such as their Facebooks, such as my cell phone, such as I took some stuff from stock photography and had a fun night. I got it to the point that we can meet and have a little like powwow about what it looks like right now, see them walk through it, get their feelings on it, and then get their feedback. We met last night on Zoom.
All right, how do I do this? It's been a long time since I've used this. Participants. Can you hear us? I guess that's a no. Anything? Nothing? Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? That's so weird. It should be working.
And then that quickly turned into Skype, technology. It was really fun. We talked for a lot longer than my fiance thought we would. I actually think we talked a lot shorter than we were gonna. I took some notes. Always have a journal. I have this Wonder Woman journal. I got this from my job. Love it. As a designer, I always have journals on hand. Always writing things down. I take it with me to meetings. As I am through the day, like I think of creative projects and stuff, I have my journal. Really helps me out. It's helping me out with this project. So if you're doing a project, get a journal. Anyways, I'm gonna walk you through the file of where it is now. And then I'll talk to you about the changes that are gonna go in and the next step. I specifically requested my fiance not to open this file until him and Chris were on chat together because of this. That is a duck, and that is Chris eating lobster with a bird, and this is my fiance and a duck. This is a placeholder as indicated by this word placeholder, but because we didn't get to do the photo shoot, I didn't have the visuals to like really make like a true high fidelity of what this would look like. So I got creative. I have a very unique, weird sense of humor. So does my fiance, so does Chris, so it works out. When they opened this up and they saw the duck, there was definitely feelings on the duck, but the duck played into setting the tone. I feel like if you can be silly with clients and make projects fun like that, it'll go better. This is the homepage, key episode being highlighted, more episodes for them. This is the recommended reads, watches, and shop. I changed this up In the low fidelity, it was like ribbon strips. I changed it to this. I feel like this is just like better. And splashed in their brand colors here, social icons. And then over here, episodes. I pulled descriptions and like episode names and stuff from the actual podcast to try to like give this a feel of it like being almost true. This is still a cyan placeholder down here for other places to listen because I had asked my fiance what featured places I should put for his podcast that they want to push of it being listened in, and I never got an answer because he's busy, so whatever. This is their about page. Duck again. This is a photo from when we went to Comic-Con I took. I like cut it in Photoshop, like made this thing. Like I just wanted like a visual there, but actually they love this one so much they want to keep it for the final version of this website, and they kind of want to like echo this more throughout the website. I think it's fun. I think it's funny. Like I'm a goofy, like weird person. They're goofy, weird people, like I said. Honestly, like I think like being goofy and weird is what makes life fun. If you're so serious all the time, like, I don't know. Like, if you don't like laugh and have fun and do weird stuff, like life is depressing. At least that's what I think. I had my fiance give me like their blurb to put in here and then their bios. Chris didn't understand what bio we were looking for. These are photos from their Facebook. These are photos from Comic-Con. And then episodes. I have it where like if they're in, scroll down, scroll down. I had Andrew give me show notes. Chris did not have show notes, but like Andrew's show notes were so long. I was like, yo, what? So the idea is like they'll have like a feeling of show note, and then you could do see more if you want to expand out the show note. I just slapped a picture of here just so that they can know pictures can go there. That's what that's about. And then clicking one of these buttons, you would get to the recommended reads or the recommended watches. Again, I had them give me like, what are your guys' recommended reads and watches? And then I took some photos from Google just to like have something be there for them, because I feel like if you're not a designer working in this stuff, if you're just looking at gray boxes, it's really confusing. So I just wanted something for them to understand what was going on. Then I expanded out the pages. These are just from like Google and Amazon. I made this like weird, like really quick thing in Photoshop where it's like somebody's pulling the book out of a box of comics and then it could be switched out. I expressed that this is not final. This is just to give them a feeling of what could be, and we can come up with visuals later. Again, descriptions just like from Amazon and Google, just to have something. And yeah, I walked them through it. Like, I gave them the prototype linked. I let them click around, see that they can go into things, go through things, they can navigate through. Go back to the duck. The duck is great. It was just great. I love that duck. And yeah, it was very good for them to get to see the website, to get to feel the website, to get to experience the website, to go through it together. First of all, to sit down looking at something with color and pictures and functionality to it, and just go over our thoughts of what we feel works. So going forward with this project, there's actually not much left to do before this can go live, which is super exciting and cool. I have notes on revisions to put in, and they're not major. It's mainly the recommended reads and the recommended watches. Now that they looked at it, they want to make those two sections like their personal, like forever. This is what they recommend people to read. This is what they recommend people to watch. And then they want to add a button for what they call reading assignments, which is the segment on their show where they assign something to each other to read and to watch. And that's what I was trying to achieve through the recommended reads and the recommended watches. But they just want to make it something completely separate. And now looking at the navigation, they feel like there's not enough buttons, which I felt that too. But when I was asking them what sections that they want there, they weren't really sure at the beginning. But now seeing it, I think like that helps them to be able to like focus and be like, yo, that is what's missing. It looks like we're gonna add the recommended reads and the recommended watches up there. And in demoing it, I showed them that like when you go and you start going down into pages, without those buttons up there, there's not really an easy return point to those pages. And if a person went like from homepage to recommended reads into a book, and then they go through it, and then say they wanted to just go back to the to like the point of like where the list of books are, it would be better to have a button at the top that they can always return from. And also if like they're in like the episodes and like in an episode page, if they wanted to quickly go over to that instead of going home and then going to it, it's just like a way to speed up navigation. They want to add the reading assignment button up there and the merch shop button up there. It's going to feel a little cluttered, but I think like it'll work, especially if we don't have it like as big. I think it could work. The reading assignments thing though, that was the most of our conversation, just because they feel, because it is the main segment on their show, that people are going to go to their website knowing it. And I kind of like was trying to push them to think, is that a bias that you have because you guys are the host, this is your podcast you're producing, so you know it and you're just expecting that people know it? Or do people actually know it? Like I was trying to challenge them to think on that, because I feel a person who's listening to them and they're like, there's this awesome book about Harriet Tubman and she's fighting vampires and it's by a Black author. It's so cool. And somebody goes to their website and wants to like see more of their thoughts on it. I think they're going to go down, look for something that says reads, go into reads looking for a book because you read a book, and they're not going to see it there, you know? But also, on the other hand, I was trying to get them to think a little, because if they recommend a movie, like, I don't know, there's some like shitty movie Andrew really likes about Bob Dylan. Don't remember the name. So like they have an episode where they're talking about like, yo, Bob Dylan's movie is like baller or whatever, you should watch it. I think somebody, if they went to their website and they wanted to learn more about their thoughts on this movie and why they should watch it, are gonna go to something that says recommended watches looking for it. And if it's not there, that's gonna be a drop off. If the way you consume something is that you watch it and you put it under something that's titled about reading, I think that's going to be really confusing to users. Even if it's users that they listen to your podcast and like they hear your segment, I don't think it's strong enough that they're going to remember that. I think the visuals and like the pathing on the website is important to consider how people actually are going to use it. But, you know, it is their thing that is being built, and I expressed that as like, if you really want to do this, I can do these revisions for you, no problem, and we can set it up with users and see how users use it, and then we can determine what to do. And they were very open to that. It was a productive conversation. I implored them to think on it a little. Again, I'm going to do the revisions. We're going to get together some time in the upcoming months to do user testing. I requested them specifically to each pick 2 people to user test, ensure that the people are okay being recorded and recording their session, so that way I can go over it. Because this was such a debate on like the reading assignment page and like just like that layout, I requested to have one person that listens to their show and one person that doesn't listen to their show. And I'm going to write up the prompts to see if they can find the reading assignments easily without being directed where the reading assignments are. Another main thing that was like discussed in detail was I had mainly constructed the feature with the recommended watches and the recommended reads to be like a companion to their episodes. The idea was they do their reading assignment on the show and they talk about it. But there's only like so much you can talk about in audio. So my idea was these pages were going to be companions to each episode, and they would have like a blog post with photos, with extra thoughts, any extra facts they want to put in. I thought it would be fun, instead of just like taking a description off Amazon, to have them write out what the book is about in their own words. Make it very personal for their listeners and the users of this website, and like just give value. I was continuously trying to push them to think about that, like, you're a podcast and people are going to listen to your episodes on the medium that they listen to a podcast. Your episodes are going to be on your website, but I don't think people are going to go to your website to listen to your episode. I think people are going to go to your website if there's an extra value to your website. And like personally, like there are podcasts that I listen to that I then go to the website because there's additional stuff on the website that go with the episodes that just like, you know, it expands the brand more. I get more. I mean, I listened. I think it more fell down to it's just they don't want to do that much work to upkeep a blog. So we discussed like simplifying it down a lot. I don't know, you know. I think it's unfortunate. I think it could be really cool if they expanded it that way, but if they're not in a position that they can do the work and they're not willing to do that much work, I think the simplified version that was discussed is still cool. And at the end of the day, it is their website that I'm building. So it's what they want. And also, you know, whatever happens, happens. We could launch it and they could see that maybe that's something that they want to do. Maybe that's something the fans start requesting. Who knows? And then like we can expand. That is what's so baller about product design and UX design, is it's ever changing. That's where the project is right now. The next step is, like I said, revisions. Then it's user testing, which should be fun. And then it is a photo shoot to get some photos, to go in and start photoshopping some visuals. And then we're going to launch this into the virtual universe and see how it goes. So I'm so excited about the progress that has been made, and I'm just going to keep trucking forward. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That's super cool. If you totally like this video and would love to see more, hit that subscribe button. I put up videos pretty regularly. And leave a comment if you have anything to say. I think that's cool. And I love engaging with people and discussing online. If you have any comments or any feedback you want to offer on this project, feel free to leave that in the comments too. Design is a collaborative effort, and I love critique. I wish you happiness. I wish you health. And I will see you in the next one. Also, like I mentioned, this is part 2 in this series on this project. If you didn't see part 1, which was the planning on this project, hit this and it will take you there. But bye!